Now, I want you to listen to this talk by Kerry Cassidy of Project Camelot. She mixes in a bit of truth and misinformation. She's talking about black people and our history. She's also talking about the Illuminati, how the Illuminati are a white stock, which they're so not whites. They're clearly black because everything that's being done is to push down white supremacy. Everything's being done to push down white supremacy. So they are very powerful. They're very rich. They're very smart people, and they have spies everywhere. So even like white people, they use white people in order to further their agenda. You understand? Like, artists like Taylor Swift, Christina Aguilera. There's like two songs that I love of theirs that are clearly talking about white supremacy, and but somehow she connects Illuminati with white supremacy and how the Illuminati is trying to attack black people, which is not the case at all. But the reason why she's saying that is because it makes black people on guard with the Illuminati, and that's why some black people in their heads are like, "Oh, the Illuminati's bad," but it's like, no, the Illuminati's on your side. But there's people who want you to think that they're bad, so you could help them get rid of them, so they could eventually come back and then take over for to dominate you again. Is that what you want? No, but that's the trick that they do. But anyway, just listen to what she has to say.
I think that there is a certain fear of the power that your people hold. For example, you have a very strong emotionality. You have a very strong sort of, you might say, heart, intellect connection that, should it ever come together really well, would make you quite powerful beings here on the planet. And it's like an intuitive connection with the heart, that you carry around with you. And because of the connection with Africa, where we all, at least at this point, originated from this incarnation, this version of humanity, there's also a past with your people that was different than the current one. Now, it depends if you want to kind of go down that road, but it's a very interesting one. It had to do with your race dominating the whites on the planet in a completely different version of humanity. And those Illuminati may be playing some kind of psychological payback game. Now, I don't know that for a fact, but I do know Ashiana Dean talks about this as being a very distant, one of the incarnations of humanity. In other words, at one time women were also on top and men were kind of like the lower, as you know that.
So when she talks about black people being in charge back in the day, yeah, that's exactly how the situation was. And the thing is that nobody really asks, why white people had this attitude towards black people. They're supposed to be, righteous. They're supposed to believe in Jesus Christ, be Christian. So why were they like being so dismissive of black people, our culture, our history, just like doing everything they can to undermine us, and just having this like horrible attitude towards us? Like, what was the reason? But they don't really tell you what the reason is. But the reason is that we were running things and they wanted to take over. And the thing is that we tried to help them and they backstabbed us. And what is the misinformation is that the Illuminati has nothing to do with white people. It has nothing to do with white people because Illuminati is the New World Order. The New World Order is against white supremacy. Clearly, white supremacy or white supremacists would tell you that they don't want anything to do with the Illuminati. They can't stand the Illuminati. So it's like, I don't understand how she's saying that it's Illuminati's doing payback. It's like, well, if you see what's happening now, white people are drastically declining in population, they're declining in influence, they're declining in power. A whole bunch of immigrants are coming into their lands. Eventually, white people will be a minority and probably they won't exist anymore. Who knows? So it's like, well, how is it that the Illuminati are, trying to attack black people? Like, you see black people on the rise, and then she talks about women. Notice that women are on the rise. And that's another thing. White culture had a problem with women. They had a problem with women. They had a problem with gay people. They had a problem with black people. They had a problem with socialism. All those things are on the rise, and that's because of the New World Order. And we all know the New World Order is a result of the Illuminati. So I don't understand how she could connect the Illuminati to white supremacy. And I don't understand how people could say, oh, Illuminati this, Illuminati that. Didn't you forget about white supremacy? What happened to white supremacy? That was the huge problem for the past 5 centuries. So it's like, well, why are you trying to connect Illuminati and white supremacy? It doesn't make any sense because Illuminati is clearly against white supremacy. Like, for example, they tell you stuff in movies and books and music. Now, one of the songs that most people know, I would say, is the Taylor Swift song, Look What You Made Me Do. That's clearly talking about white supremacy because she's clearly part of the Illuminati. Clearly. And also, there's a song by Christina Aguilera called Fighter. At the end, she kicks a glass and then she looks through with her eye, right? So clearly, the Illuminati is talking about something that happened in the past. Okay, and it was when white people took over, because I always say that the Protestant Reformation is when white people took over, because the Black Madonna and Child, that it was us. We created that. And you have old paintings of black priests, black saints, black people praying, but yet that's never discussed. And that's in Europe, that's never discussed. So it's like, well, black people were a huge part of the Catholic Church, and the Protestant Reformation was their rebellion against us. And then Reformation speaks for itself, but then you had the Renaissance, rebirth. You can't get more obvious than that. It was a new world order. And then when they came out of that, what did they say about black people? You're inferior. You have no history. You're uncivilized, blah, blah, blah. You didn't amount to anything throughout your existence. What? It's a lie. It's a lie. You understand? So they always throw in they throw some truth and then also some misinformation. There's no way that the Illuminati is part of white supremacy. Absolutely not.
It's been a time on this earth, I think, when there has been oppression of various races. I know Indians, Native Americans here on the planet, certainly in the United States, have been heavily oppressed. Tragedies, all you have to do is go to an Indian reservation and see that. I mean, women, there's just so many groups of beings that are being oppressed. There's no doubt whatsoever that the sort of typical bloodline of the Illuminati is, white Anglo-Saxon, go up the food chain, German,
You see? So who does the oppression? Who did the oppression? It was white people, but she doesn't mention that. She doesn't mention that. White supremacy has been the bane of society for the past 500 years. Okay, I'm telling you, the New World Order was the Protestant Reformation. It was the bane of society for the past 500 years. Because it's like, I can understand if there were, a few white people that were very nasty. There's that in black people, in our society as well. There's some minority of black people that are just like, you're crazy, you're nasty, you're vile, you're evil. Okay, everybody has that. But the thing is that the majority of white people supposedly were civilized and believed in Jesus Christ. Okay, and if they believed in Jesus Christ, why did we have so much problems? Because black people, will believe in the same thing. It's like, okay, let's work together so we can make a better world. It's like, no, we're going to oppress you. But why though? Why? You understand? And they don't tell you that. They don't tell you why. And I'm telling you why, because they took over. The Protestant Reformation was their new world order. They took over and they want to rule. And they know that how powerful black people are. Like she said in the video, she knows how powerful black people are. So they oppress us in order for them to maintain power. Okay? And the Illuminati are not white people. They're not. Okay? Because the thing is that if you oppress me, I'm going to fight back. Okay? And not every race of people advance at the same rate. There were black people that were very advanced. Okay, and they're in hiding right now. They were very good at manipulating rock and stone, and they could burrow into the earth. People talk about hollow earth and everything that. Well, they burrowed into the earth, and that's where they are because they're very advanced. Okay, so they separate themselves. It's just like Wakanda. Like the Illuminati actually tell you stuff in movies and in music. So that's basically them. The vibranium, instead of vibranium, it's gold for them. They love gold. Okay, so the Illuminati are actually black people, and notice that Africa is rising in population, white people are declining in population, so the rise of black people, rise of women up, rise of gay people, and socialism, because white culture had a problem with that. Okay, so the the Illuminati being white, no, not at all, not at all.